What is up, SmackNPie here, and welcome to another video on the channel. Today we'll be discussing Resident Evil 4 Remake, not the Resident Evil 4 VR by that Facebook VR thing. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Resident Evil 4 full-blown remake, which is obvious since Resident Evil 2 Remake happened. We all knew Resident Evil 4 Remake will happen someday down the line. It is one of the best Resi games of the franchise and one of the best horror games of its time, so we have to talk about it. Now, RE3 Remake happened, some criticism went on that aspect, then Resident Evil Village happened, but before that and after RE3 there was a big Capcom leak. I feel like this is important for everyone to be reminded of, that there was a big Capcom leak, and in there we learned a lot of stuff, some incredible stuff. One of them was, of course, Resident Evil Village release date and editions, pre-order editions. When I posted that video, Capcom took that video down, and when they actually announced the pre-orders, it was literally how it was in the leaks. Of course, the release date was changed from April to May, but it was the initial release date. The delay happened later. So in that big leak, we also learned about Resident Evil 4 Remake. So out of nowhere, a user claims that they have some more info from that big Capcom leak happened for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Let's see what they have to say. We're gonna skip past all of it and just get to the important bits here, okay? So they say, and they claim, of course, I'm not gonna say it's for real, they say that number one, the game was rebooted because it was exactly like the original, just improved graphically, which is what a lot of people want. But they wanted something unique with simple changes that improve the experience. And they also claim that Capcom is considering all the Resident Evil 3 Remake criticism. They also claim that devs are calling it the Chainsaw Project. We also learned that Sony is offering a lot for a PlayStation 5 timed exclusivity deal between 6 months all the way to 1 year. I hope that does not happen. With Final Fantasy VII Remake, that game is lit, but it sucks it's exclusive. It's still going on, by the way. They also say that this game, Resident Evil 4 Remake, will be next-gen exclusive. Now, that depends solely on when the game drops. We'll get to it in just a second. Now, this part gets me. They say that you can change between first and third person cameras. See, I've been debating with myself over, should this be a norm specifically for stealth and survival games, whether it be stealth action, narrative games, or survival horror games? Should there be a standard from now that first person and third person camera players can change at any second, or should it happen slowly and develop more, because it can take a lot of time and a lot of development time, which no dev wants that. So that is a good debate I think we can have over there. They also claim that the Capcom wanted to implement a VR mode, but Facebook ruined the idea with its VR version of the original. So yeah, we learned what happened there with the Facebook. Yeah. Then this part gets me, and this part makes everyone go, hold on a second. Are we taking this seriously? They say Leon, okay, Ada, fine, and Claire, apparently she is in the game for some reason. Voice actors and face models are the same from Resident Evil 2 Remake, but older. Leon has a beard now, so I can understand the Leon because of course Resident Evil 2 Remake. But Claire, that is something I'll leave you guys to debate on that aspect. Resident Evil 4 story, Claire adding, okay. Then we got characters and enemies such as the Merchant and the Chainsaw Man are more explored. A ton of alternate skin and classic OST is an option. If you're leaking something, that is like the most vague and safest thing that you can do as a leak. Mercenaries, Separate Ways, and Assignment Ada are back, considerably longer and bigger than the original, so I don't know what they mean by that in terms of story or longer sections to explore and fight. They're gonna have to be more specific with what they're wording. Semi-open world style, come on now. Village, we already are seeing Capcom making it a kind of sort of semi-open. Every time you're done with a boss, you do come back to the village. That was the same main hub, and then you go around. It does feel like more open than previous Resi games, so that should be a norm going forward. Then here is the important and interesting part. Release date is 2023. They really don't want to release it in 2024 for some reason. Announcement definitely next year. So like I said in my story explanation video as well, and Resident Evil 9 video as well, that we got lucky. There was a lot of work done on Resident Evil Village before the COVID then came in and halted so many productions, but a lot of Village stuff was done prior, or some of it at the very least, important aspects of it at the very least, and that's why even with all that, we still saw some delays here and there. Even they weren't sure about the release, and then it happened, so congratulations Capcom for a successful launch of Resident Evil Village. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting on how much RE4 is done compared to how much they have to finish. That's gonna be interesting. Then the CP shop from RE3 Remake and Village returns. The game has a lot of connections with RE2, 3, and Village. So the RE2 and 3 were the remakes we're talking about, and the Village, of course. Then this one is an eyebrow-raising statement. There is a post-credits cutscene with Leon right before the events of Infinite Darkness series that is coming on Netflix. This exists because Netflix demanded something like this in their contract. Now hold on a second, you're telling me Infinite Darkness regardless will come before RE4 Remake. That is something that is quite obvious. Now, you're adding something in the game that will come out after the series on Netflix, which will set up a series that has already happened on Netflix? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, so you guys help me out. Then this is where like, okay, come on now. Capcom, you've done this to yourself, kinda sorta. Even if it's fake, you've done this to yourself. They say one of the names they're considering to call it RE9 is Resident Evil Exit. What are you talking about? With IX9, of course, with I in the E, the left one. Fantastic. Well done. Good job. Even if it's fake, you brought this on yourself, Capcom. But the games are good, and they also shared to provide credibility of their stuff. This image for Resident Evil 4. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this one, but seriously, at this point, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because most of this is safe and vaguely worded to make it seem like this is some new stuff, but we've already learned about this stuff. I actually never shared it on the channel before, but it's basically like explaining and adding some stuff to it, hiding it in there from the big Capcom leak that we've had a while back. That was nasty. That was brutal. But yeah, do we believe Resident Evil 4 Remake is happening? Of course it is. Of course it's happening. My only question is the clear inclusion in the story, the timed exclusivity from Sony, the post-credit cutscene. That is something I'm like, okay. With that being said, do let me know your thoughts and theories about this remake. Follow me Twitter and Insta at SmackNPie. I keep updates there as well. Also, make sure to subscribe and notifications for more Resident Evil and other horror games content here on the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and peace.